we're all like getting into like anticipation.
Let me tell you something. I'm breaking the ice. Now don't be quiet when he comes in here, right?
Hey people! Hey, good to see you again. How are you?
Hi, so nice to see you.
It is wonderful to see all of you.
I've been spending a lot of time thinking just about information, media, how that's affecting the space in which you're working.
Social media makes it more complicated than ever. What kinds of things are pressing on you in terms of feeling like how you can get done what you want to get done?
How do you get through the crowd, or what is the perfect channel, and figuring out how to empower other platforms or how to empower those folks to tell their own stories.
The space to persuade, engage, discuss has changed because of social media.
You know, as I speak to the Obama scholars that are here in Chicago, there is a consistent theme, which is young people are trying to bring about change, and they keep on confronting institutional barriers that make it hard for them and the communities they're working with to get anything done. A lot of the reason that it's so hard to bring about change is we live in a media environment now that elevates falsehoods as much as truths, that divides people more than it brings them together.
In such a noisy media environment as ours, we have to figure out where are people and can we deliver a message where people are.
Social media has made it harder for people to mobilize in the community. We need to get out here in the streets, find the people, build those relationships, and try to talk to them about the program that we're trying to implement.
I think he reminded us that there's choices made in every piece of tech that gets built, in every piece of software that's compiled. If we can leverage those choices to be not around our anxieties and fears, but to be around hope, I think we can start taking the right steps in a direction that regulates what's happening in the world out there so that democracy is ensured for everyone.
Some of it has to do with political and financial forces that are deliberately manipulating and spreading falsehoods that can have, really dire consequences. The good news is, I think, that everybody's identifying this now as a problem, partly because of what we've seen with the anti-vax movement online, what happened after January 6th, and the mythology that somehow last presidential election wasn't fair. They're seeing vividly in places like Ukraine the consequences of when you have dictatorships controlling information. Now what we have to do is start figuring out what are the solutions.
As you know, in the current environment, when there is intense comment scrutiny on civil society organizations, how do these organizations work around government machinery to actually build trust and do some credible work?
It is unlikely you will be able to change those political structures immediately.
That then connected with the broader conference and conversation I had on stage about disinformation, misinformation. Our goal in the foundation is to train the next generation of leaders and give them platforms and connections and make sure they're not isolated and that they're learning from each other across borders. And uniformly, they're all confronting these issues about how do I deal with misinformation in my country, in my town? How do I get access to the public so that they know the facts that are affecting their lives? And so, through the foundation, we're really soliciting from young people ideas and trying out a bunch of things.
My work specifically is on guaranteed income, and thinking about meeting people where they're at can look like making sure that they get to determine what their goals for that assistance are and what success might look like for them. And that is a way to build trust in democracy.
Speaking from my context, from Pakistan, disinformation is a matter of life and death for many people. It is now our responsibility to be socially responsible about how we want to leverage technology.
What I think our goal is going to be over the next several months as we continue to talk about this is how can we create just better information for people? How can we give people the capacity to sort out truth from falsehood?
And so the question is, do we incentivize even the big platforms to do things a little bit differently? And that's going to take a little bit of time. The good news is we're starting to talk about it. We can figure this out.